Hey everybody, welcome back to what I've seen lately. This is day 5, and this one is fairly interesting to me because I've not been introduced to this filmmaker up until now. I've heard a lot about him, that filmmaker being Oliver Stone. I've heard a lot about him, particularly his political drive in his stories, and I figured as an introduction of sorts, I would start with his most noteworthy film, that film being Platoon, which was written and directed by Oliver Stone, starring Charlie Sheen, as well as a bunch of other notable performers. Willem Dafoe, Johnny Depp makes an appearance there. Forest Whitaker is also there. And as the title suggests, it is about a group of soldiers as they fight in the Vietnam War, and the interplay between them, and a lot about the need to adopt a certain mentality, that mentality being insanity, in order to survive the warfare that they are in, while also at the same time studying the effects of it through certain individuals, that through those who break and those who ultimately survive. And what you get from Platoon, because I'm going to keep it fairly short for this one because I feel pretty definite in how I feel about it. For starters, I will say that it is fairly engaging, and it has some marks in its depictions of combat, and there is some levels of tension that, while expecting, are earnest at some points in terms of overall interest and overall setup. What I feel the film does more of than of anything is to be observant, and it acts as if it has a personal lens, and I don't believe that the film has that sort of quality to it. It's very melodramatic in how it represents things, like, the most iconic shot of the movie, obviously, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Platoon or has seen the freaking poster. That shot of Willem Dafoe as he's like dying, it's, if you don't realize what kind of heft you're getting with Platoon, that scene is it's a pretty big example of the type of drama that you're getting here. I mostly felt was uninterested with it, mainly with two things. Like I said, I think that it just doesn't have a real genuine purpose outside of a certain kinds of lenses, which I feel creates more distance than actual depth, because it thinks that it's acting personal, but like I said, it's more observant, and within that there's a distance that is felt with pretty much all the characters. Because the other element to it, which I was kind of saddened by, because it's, in the context of a film like this, you need to have performances that are very compelling. And what you get from this ensemble is performances outside of Willem Dafoe, who I thought was fine. I mean, I most times love Willem Dafoe and what he does, and what he does here is fine enough. You get performances, particularly of Charlie Sheen, who I just found to be completely inexpressive and mostly dull, and in some ways that's the best way to describe Platoon. It's fairly unremarkable, and it's trying, to explore, similar ideas that you've seen in war films, the moralities of serving your country, and the type of mentality that is taken on when entering this type of world. It's exploring similar ideas, and to a manner, it's kind of following in that line where it's just trotting a similar path. It's not hitting any new ground or really really bringing a new angle to the table, or really an emotional center that feels distinct. It's just very familiar to me. And what I got from it was something that was mostly dull, and fairly boring, and quite melodramatic. Like I just found myself pretty tuned out of it. Um, so I think that it has decent craftsmanship going on, but for the most part, it's a film that I've seen before in this genre, and that's not high marks for for any film that is genre based. You would want something that is genre based to be distinct within its own genre, but when it's something that is just of the same taste, that's it's disappointing, really. Um, so like I said, I think it has some engagement, mainly to do with its the way the film is handled. Like I said, it has more observant quality, and at points that observant quality is interesting, but the emotional centers of the film, the personal um, attachments that it wishes to have, I just think are mostly absent for me. So not completely without merit, but uh, mostly um, mostly forgettable. If I'm to be completely honest, so I don't feel like I'll remember much of it once a few days pass. So, but those are my thoughts on Platoon. Also, I felt the narration was completely unnecessary. Just to throw another thing in there, I just felt like the narration was just so just didn't need to be there at all. And I do appreciate some of the realism that the technicalities take, like the distortion with the sound design. I feel like that was deliberate. I feel like that was on purpose for certain sounds to be louder than others. Um, so like there is some qualities to it from a technical point of view, and from its navigation, I think, that are interesting. But the main qualities, the main components of the film is focusing on these characters and their developments and that emotional center. I just found that to be mostly dull and mostly unremarkable. So, but those are my thoughts on Platoon, though. I thought it was pretty meh. But you guys will know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you guys like Platoon? And should I explore more of Oliver Stone's films? I know he's done a lot of presidential based films. I think JFK, right? I believe he did a film called with Josh Brolin, right? I'm not sure, but let me know if I should explore if I should explore more of Oliver Stone's films in the future. Let me know in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next review. So I'll catch you guys then. Bye.